Hey, real quick, can you answer this in English right now? What time do you start work? What do you do first when you arrive? Do you even know the words to describe your workday in English? If you hesitated even a little, this episode is made exactly for you. Stay with us, because by the end of today's conversation, you'll be able to talk about your entire workday naturally, confidently, and in real English. Let's go. Hello, and welcome back to the Porch English, the podcast that helps you practice real, everyday English, one conversation at a time. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Ryan. So good to have you here today. Whether you're on your morning commute, taking a lunch break, or winding down in the evening, we're really glad you tuned in.
Today's topic is something every single person can connect to. Talking about your workday. What you do, when you do it, how you feel about it. We're going to have a real conversation, share our own stories, and teach you the vocabulary you need along the way.
And I'll be honest, before we start, I have to warn you. I'm running on about 1 hour of good sleep.
Oh no, what happened? Did your alarm not go off?
Worse, my neighbor's dog, a very enthusiastic golden retriever named Biscuit, decided that 5:15 in the morning was the ideal time to bark at absolutely nothing. For 40 minutes straight.
Biscuit! That's actually a great name for a dog that wakes you up before sunrise.
It is a great name. I just didn't appreciate the performance this morning. What about you? Good weekend?
Really lovely, yes. On Saturday, I took a long walk through the park near my apartment and stopped at a little bookshop I'd never been into before. I ended up buying 2 novels and sitting in a coffee shop for 2 hours. It was exactly the kind of slow, quiet day I needed.
That sounds like a dream. My weekend was the complete opposite. I helped my sister move into her new flat. Boxes everywhere. Furniture that did not want to go through doorways. Very chaotic.
Oh, moving day. The most stressful kind of help you can give someone. But sweet of you to be there.
She owes me a very good dinner. Anyway, let's talk about work. That's what today is all about.
And before we dive in, if the Porchlight English is helping you build confidence in English, please follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. A fresh episode drops every single day, and it's completely free. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so the most basic question at work, or really anywhere, is what do you do? It sounds simple, but a lot of learners freeze up when someone asks them this in English.
Totally. So let's model it. Amanda, what do you do?
I'm a content writer. I write articles, scripts, and web copy for different clients. Most of my work is from home, so my office is really just my kitchen table and a very good pair of headphones.
The home office dream. And what about you, Ryan?
Oh wait, that's you. Go ahead.
Right, sorry. Still half asleep. I work in customer operations for a mid-sized company that sells project management software. So basically, when businesses have questions or problems with how the software works, my team helps them figure it out. It's a mix of emails, calls, and sometimes video sessions where we walk clients through things step by step.
So you're really communicating all day long.
All day, yes. Some days that energy is great. Other days, by 4 o'clock, I have genuinely forgotten what silence sounds like.
Okay, so here's our first vocabulary moment. Ryan, would you call what you do a desk job?
Yes, absolutely. A desk job means you spend most of your working hours sitting at a desk, usually in front of a screen. You're not doing physical labor or moving around much. My job is a classic desk job, 9 to 5, 5 days a week.
My job is a little different because I set my own hours. I'm self-employed, which means I work for myself. I don't have one employer or one company. I choose my projects, my clients, and my schedule.
That must feel really freeing. But also, Does it ever feel like work never fully stops?
Honestly, yes. When you're self-employed, the line between work time and personal time can get very blurry. I have to be really intentional about switching off in the evenings.
So let's walk through the actual day, starting from the very beginning, the morning. Amanda, what does your morning look like before work starts?
I wake up around 6:45. I'm not a hit the snooze button person. Once I'm up, I'm up. I make tea, always tea before anything else, and I sit quietly for about 15 minutes. No phone, no news, just tea and the morning light. Then I do a short stretch routine, get dressed, and by 7:30 I'm at my desk with a plan for the day.
That is the most peaceful morning routine I've ever heard. Mine is different.
Tell us.
My alarm goes off at 7 o'clock. I hit snooze. It goes off at 7:09. I hit snooze again. By 7:18, I'm in a mild panic. I jump in the shower, make instant coffee, not proud of it, grab whatever food I can find, and I'm out the door. I get to the office just in time.
Ryan, okay, so our listeners should know both of these are very real, very common morning types. You've got the calm, prepared morning person, and then you've got Ryan.
The chaotic but functional morning person. I prefer that description. Now, when I actually get to the office, the first thing I do is say good morning to my teammates. We have a small team. There's just 5 of us. I sit near a colleague named Dom, who always has some kind of snack on his desk. Every single day.
Colleagues, that's our next vocabulary word. Your colleagues are the people you work with, not friends from outside work, specifically the people you share a workplace or a team with. You can say, my colleague Dom, or a colleague of mine.
After saying hello to the team, I turn on my computer, which, I'll be honest, takes about 3.5 business years to load. And while it's starting up, I open my paper planner and review what I've written down for the day.
A paper planner. Love that. Very old school.
I tried digital planners and apps, but nothing feels as satisfying as crossing something off a physical list. It just hits different.
I work similarly. I start every morning by reviewing my task list. Then I open my emails. I usually have quite a few by the time I sit down, and I sort them by priority. Urgent first, then everything else.
Okay, so we've handled the morning setup. What happens next? For me, around 10 o'clock, we have our daily team check-in. It's a short meeting, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, where our team lead goes over the schedule, flags anything urgent, and we do a quick round of updates.
That sounds efficient. My equivalent is a weekly call with one of my main clients on Monday mornings. We go over deadlines, any changes to upcoming projects, and what I'm working on that week. Sometimes it runs long, but usually it's pretty focused.
Deadlines. Great word, Amanda. Can you define that one for our listeners?
Of course, a deadline is the final date or time by which something must be finished. If your deadline is Friday, that means the work must be done before Friday ends. Missing a deadline, submitting late, is something you really want to avoid professionally.
After our check-in, the bulk of my day begins. Emails come in from clients, I take calls, and I document everything I handle. Around noon, I put together a brief daily report, a written summary of the cases I worked on that morning.
A report, another vocabulary word worth flagging. A report is a written document that summarizes information, data, or work done. You write reports at many different jobs, in offices, schools, hospitals, businesses. It's one of those universally useful words.
And then, the most important moment of the morning. Break time. Around 10:45, I grab a coffee with my colleague Priya from the floor below us. We catch up on whatever's going on. Sometimes it's just life stuff. Sometimes it's venting about a difficult client. It's only 10 minutes, but it resets my energy completely.
I love that you have a break buddy. I usually take my mid-morning break alone. I'll step away from my desk, make another cup of tea, and sit on my little balcony for a few minutes. No screen, fresh air. It makes the second half of the morning so much more productive.
That sounds like such a smart habit. I should try the no screen break thing. I usually check my phone, which isn't really a break.
Right. If your eyes are still staring at a screen, your brain hasn't really rested.
Okay, lunch. Very important. What do you do for lunch, Amanda?
I usually cook something simple. I'm a big fan of grain bowls, some kind of rice or quinoa, vegetables, maybe a soft-boiled egg. I eat at my kitchen table, away from my work desk, and I read for about 20 minutes. I treat it like a real break, not a working lunch.
A working lunch. That means eating while you're still working, still at your desk, still answering emails.
Exactly, and I try really hard to avoid that because if I don't step away at lunch, I hit an energy wall around 2 p.m.
The afternoon slump. Yes, this is a real thing. That wave of tiredness that hits after lunch. My solution, and I know it's not the best, is a third coffee.
Third, Ryan.
Don't lecture me, Amanda. It works. I get to the office cafeteria, get my coffee, sometimes grab a snack, usually something salty because I have zero self-control, and I'm back at my desk by 1:15.
The cafeteria, a useful word. A cafeteria is a dining area in a workplace, school, or institution where you can buy or eat food. In the US, it's very common in offices, hospitals, and schools. In the UK, you might also hear canteen.
After lunch, I go back to client cases. The afternoon is usually when the more complicated ones come up. Sometimes I have a video call where I share my screen and walk a client through fixing a problem step by step. That requires real focus. You have to listen carefully, speak clearly, and stay patient.
Patience is such a professional skill. I think it's underrated.
Completely underrated. Especially when you're explaining the same thing for the 5th time and the client still hasn't found the button. You just have to breathe and stay kind.
My afternoons are usually for writing. Longer projects, research, drafts. I find mornings better for emails and planning. Afternoons better for deep, focused work. Once you know your own rhythm, you can schedule around it.
Okay, let's talk about the end of the workday. What time do you usually finish, Amanda?
It varies because I'm self-employed. On a good day, I wrap up by 5:30. On a busy day, especially near a deadline, it can go until 7 or even later. I'm working on getting better at stopping at a consistent time.
My official finish time is 5 o'clock. But honestly, urgent things happen, and some nights it's 5:30 or even 6 before I actually log off. When I do finish, I shut down my computer, say goodbye to the team, and head out.
And then your commute. Tell us about that.
My commute is about 30 minutes by tube. That's the Underground in London. I take the same line every day. It's crowded, it's warm, and somehow half the time the signal on my phone disappears completely.
Commute is a key vocabulary word here. Your commute is the regular journey you make between home and work. It can be by car, train, bus, bike, or on foot. A person who commutes is called a commuter.
During my commute, I usually listen to a podcast. Sometimes a news one, sometimes something funny, just to decompress from the day. By the time I get home, I feel a bit more human again.
I work from home, so my commute is exactly 12 steps from my desk to my kitchen. But I still have a little end-of-day ritual. I close my laptop, put it away, change out of my work clothes, and do a 5-minute tidy of my desk. It signals to my brain, work is done.
That's so smart. A physical signal that the day is over. I do something similar. As soon as I get home, I change into casual clothes immediately. Somehow it makes me feel like I've left work behind.
So, what does your evening look like? Do you cook?
I try to. About 3 nights a week, I'll actually cook something proper. Pasta, stir-fry, sometimes soup if I'm in the mood. The other nights, I'll order takeout from one of the places near me. There's a Thai place called Golden Leaf that I order from embarrassingly often.
Takeout, or takeaway in British English, means food you order from a restaurant to eat at home, rather than eating there.
Yes, takeout is the American term. Takeaway is British. Same thing, different words. And both are absolutely valid options when you're too tired to cook.
I cook most evenings. I genuinely enjoy it as a way to decompress. Something about chopping vegetables and having music on is really calming after a screen-heavy day. I'll usually eat around 7, and then after dinner, I try not to go back to my laptop.
Do you think about work in the evenings?
I used to, a lot. I'd lie in bed mentally drafting emails. I had to actively train myself to let it go. Now I read in the evenings, or I call a friend, or I just watch something silly on TV. That balance is really important.
For me, once Friday evening comes, I mentally clock out completely. Weekends are mine. I really believe that proper rest makes you a better worker. Not just physically, but creatively. You come back on Monday with fresh thinking.
Absolutely. Work is important, but so is rest. And so is having a life outside of work. English even has a term for this: work-life balance. Finding the right balance between your professional life and your personal life.
Okay, real talk. Do you love your job, Amanda?
I really do. Not every single day. There are difficult clients, tight deadlines, and days when the words just won't come. But overall, yes. I love that my work is creative, that I'm always learning new topics to write about, and that I have a lot of independence. What about you?
Honestly, yes, most of the time. What I love most is problem solving. When someone contacts us completely stuck, and by the end of our call everything is working and they say, "Thank you, you actually saved my day," that feeling is genuinely rewarding.
Rewarding. Great word. It means something gives you a sense of value, satisfaction, or meaning. A job can be rewarding even if it's also difficult.
The challenging parts. For me, it's the repetitive days. When you've answered the same kind of question 20 times in a row, it can feel draining. And stressful days, when everything comes in at once.
My challenge is isolation. Working from home is lovely, but you can go an entire day without having a proper conversation with another person. That's why I really value connections like this podcast: talking, sharing, engaging.
Every job has its rewards and its challenges. And learning how to talk about both of those honestly, in English, is such a valuable skill. Whether it's a job interview, a conversation with a new colleague, or just chatting with someone you've just met.
All right, let's do our vocabulary review. Today, we covered a really useful set of words for talking about work. Ryan, you take the first one.
Colleague. The people you work with at your job. Not personal friends, specifically work teammates. My colleague Dom always has snacks at his desk.
Commute. The regular journey between your home and your workplace. My commute is 30 minutes on the tube. It's also a verb. I commute to the city every day.
Schedule. Your plan for the day, week, or any period of time. What you're doing and when. My schedule on Tuesdays is very full. Also a verb. Let's schedule a meeting for Thursday.
Report. A written summary of information or work completed. Very common across all industries. I submit a daily report to my manager.
Deadline. The final date or time something must be finished. I can't meet up Friday. I have a big deadline. To meet a deadline equals to finish on time. To miss a deadline equals to finish too late.
Full-time versus part-time. Full-time means working a standard number of hours per week, usually 35 to 40. Part-time means fewer hours. I worked part-time during university, but now I have a full-time position.
And work-life balance. The healthy division between your working hours and your personal life. I chose this company because they respect work-life balance.
7 strong vocabulary words that you can use starting today to talk about your own job, your routine, and your daily life in English.
Let's quickly wrap up what we covered today. We talked about how to describe your job, what you do, who you work with, what your schedule looks like.
We walked through a complete workday, from morning routines all the way to the commute home and evening wind down. Both of our days are pretty different, but both gave us lots of natural, usable English.
We talked about breaks, meetings, dealing with difficult moments at work, and, very importantly, the value of switching off and resting.
And we reviewed 7 key vocabulary words: colleague, commute, schedule, report, deadline, full-time, and work-life balance. Now, here is your practice challenge for today. We actually have 2 options because not everyone listening has a job yet.
If you have a job, write a comment or say out loud, "What is your job?" and describe one thing you do every day at work. Try to use at least one vocabulary word from today.
If you're a student or currently between jobs, describe your dream job and explain why it appeals to you. What would your schedule look like? Would it be full-time? Would you have colleagues?
For example, I'm a nurse. Every day I check on my patients and write reports on their progress. Or, my dream job is to be a graphic designer. I'd love a job where I can be creative and set my own schedule.
Short or long, simple or detailed, it all counts as practice. The more you try, the more natural it becomes.
Before we go, a huge thank you to everyone who spent time with us today. We know your days are full and your time is valuable. The fact that you chose to spend part of it practicing English with us means a lot.
If today's episode helped you, if you learned a word, if you feel a little more ready to talk about your workday in English, then we did our job. And we'd love to hear from you. Comments, messages, questions, we read everything.
If you haven't already, please follow or subscribe to the Porch English. A new episode every day, always focused on real English for real life. And share this episode with one person who's learning English. It really does help them, and it helps us.
Every job has good days and tough days. Every language learner has easy days and frustrating days. That's completely normal. What matters is that you keep showing up, just like you did today.
From the Porch English, keep the light on. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now.